Hi there. I just saw your ad posted on Swiss Dev Jobs, and it really piqued my interest because it's something that actually I am already interested in learning the skill set to become a quant developer. Um, and I'm just gonna give you a try and give you like an honest self-assessment of myself. So, firstly, I should maybe explain a bit of my background, which is that I've always wanted to be a developer, like for a really long time. And at first, I sort of dabbled with coding, I guess, when I was like 12, so like 14 years ago. And over the years, I kind of was very inconsistent with that, and it's been only really within the past like year or so, or I mean, yeah, probably within less than a year. That's when I would say that I started taking programming a lot more seriously, and decided that I want to pursue that full time, and make that a career. And specifically, I want to actually learn about quant trading and Fix API and all of that stuff, because it's something that I first heard about Fix API, and I was quite surprised, I guess, to see that, because it's like as a job posting, because it's not something that is very common. It's almost a bit like esoteric, because there's really there is documentation available online, but it my assumption is that because most of the people with this kind of expertise are working for companies that have non-disclosure agreements, like proprietary trading firms, etc. That's my guess as to why there's not that much available information about it, compared to when it comes to most things related to programming. You'll often find documentation, but I just found that very like scarce when it comes to this particular type of programming. And that's one of the reasons why I became so infatuated by it, because specifically I'm talking now about news trading, because that I originally sort of found out about that just from asking myself the question, like, why do all of the forex educators or whatever, people online that are talking about algorithmic trading, most of the time, or nearly all of the time, they're talking about technical analysis strategies that require you to turn off your trading when scheduled news events like GDP or non-farm payrolls or whatever come out, to avoid the volatility that happens at that time. And so my question from that was, well, if everyone's telling you to turn your trading off at that time, then why is the price still moving? Because the price can only move when there are people trading it, so who's trading it? And that was my question that led me to finding out about news trading, which led me to find out about Fix API, and I believe, and I may be wrong, but I even though I'm very interested in like cryptocurrencies and that sort of stuff, I think that when it comes to trading, that forex strategies with Fix API, and also perhaps like futures with Rhythmic API and other that kind of stuff, would be more profitable than cryptocurrency. Even though I am like a firm staunch believer in idea of Bitcoin and decentralization and all of that stuff, I'm actually more interested in learning about the more traditional algorithmic. I say traditional, I guess it's all new in relative terms, but still, like, yeah, Fix API and the traditional banking infrastructure and all of that stuff. Like, I'm really interested in learning about that and creating trading bots using that. And I would just love the opportunity to work for you and learn, and I know that I could learn to contribute and like be an asset. Like, I would like to know what it is that I would have to do, because the thing is, I'm not formally qualified. Like, I didn't go to university. I did okay in school, but I kind of left and went traveling, and I never really pursued academia in the way that I kind of wish that I had, in a way, because I am interested in learning. Like, I thrive on that. I enjoy it, and I want to improve and work on the cutting edge. That's really what I want to do in my life. I want to be working on things like exactly what you're doing, you know. And I'm gonna try and keep this video short. But yeah, to give you an honest self-assessment, I wrote a list, so I'll go try and find it. Yeah, so I'll give you a breakdown of like what I think are my strengths and weaknesses. So I think I'm a good problem solver, because I approach problems methodically and in a way that I imagine a senior developer would, even though I'm not a senior developer. And each time I get stuck, I usually get unstuck. Even when I get frustrated, or when I get frustrated and stuck, I don't give up. I'm not a quitter. I will persist and stick at a problem and try to think outside the box and step through the code and debug it and try and figure out what's happening and what if there's like some kind of bug, how to fix it. I'll also re-implement things and reconsider how things are structured. When it comes to software architecture, I feel like that's something I think that I enjoy, because I like thinking about different ways about how you can abstract things and organize code in a way that is like, no, I don't just want to be reinventing the wheel as a developer, like making front end apps or websites or whatever. I want to be tackling and solving novel problems. That's what I enjoy about programming. And I realize that programming is not always enjoyable. Sometimes it's a grind, and even in those circumstances I still push through, but I do find it intrinsically more enjoyable when it's like a novel problem that needs a novel solution. And I don't need always documentation to like hold my hand to figure out a problem, even though it's helpful. But I think that not requiring documentation to be able to figure stuff out is kind of a prerequisite in working with FixAPI, because it's not, well, actually maybe it is documented well, because I know, for example, Fix8, they are pretty well documented, better than QuickFix, but like, yeah, I feel like a lot of that is just proprietary. Like a lot of this knowledge, probably it is well documented, it's just all proprietary. That's my guess, because what's publicly available is not that much. I don't think. I mean, I did try and look into it quite a while back. I first heard about FixAPI in 2019 or 20, I'm not sure exactly, but around that time, shortly before COVID happened. That was when I first heard about FixAPI, and yeah, like I've just ever since then I've just been kind of, yeah, I just really wanted to learn about that, and so seeing this opportunity is just like, I don't know if I'm the right person for you. Like, okay, I haven't actually gone over my strengths and weaknesses yet, so I'm gonna keep going. So I track my time, but yeah, this is only really relevant, I guess, for freelancing, because when I'm freelancing, I track my time using Wakatime, which is a plugin for your various IDEs that automatically tracks the time that you spend on projects. So that's what I've been doing with freelancing. I document things and explain my thought processes, which, I might not always take the correct approach, but I feel like even when that's the case, I will at least document things, and I feel probably that would make it easier to for other developers to give feedback and to be able to extend or work with my code, or vice versa. And yeah, although that being said, I've never really worked or collaborated with other developers in a professional capacity, like at a company like what I imagine it would be like working with you. So yeah, I think it would, if you have the time, I would appreciate if you could look at the project that I'm currently working on, which is with this company called N2 Capital, and just the documentation there, which kind of explains that better than I could probably cover in this video. But yeah, that's also incomplete, but it will be, when it's properly unit tested and released, I think that it will, well, I hope it'll be good. It's been kind of a learning project, and I'm not going to lie, it has been difficult, but I feel like I've learned a lot of insights and kind of improved as a developer, and I really do feel like I would be capable of learning the skills required to be able to do the job that you're advertising. Despite the fact that I don't have a degree, I do think I'm capable of it. And I'm going to end the video there because I don't want this to be too long, but yeah, I hope that I hear from you. So thank you very much for listening, and yeah, ciao.